So welcome to Sitecore Products Tips and Tricks series, episode 1, which will be low effort, no code, take your components to the market with XM Cloud Hybrid CMS. So proudly presented by Martin Miles, MVP. And we are going to explore some very interesting, very practical things. So Martin, maybe you could just go to the next slide so that we could see better who you are. So today we are going to be with Martin Miles. He has been a Sitecore MVP for 7 years, and he has more than 20 years of software development and architecture experience, and he has been working for more than 12 years with Sitecore platform exclusively. He is an editor and creator of a Siphon and Sitecore Telegram channel, by the way, which I love. The Sitecore Telegram channel is one of my favorite sources of information about Sitecore products. And I will be with you today as well, not as much as Martin Miles, but yeah, I'm Daria Bogdanova. I'm a customer and partner enablement manager at Sitecore, and I belong to Sitecore Learning.
Thank you very much. So today we're going to talk about lots of interesting topics. Let me present, first of all, agenda, briefly explaining what it will be. So I'll briefly start with introduction into XM Cloud and hybrid CMS. Actually, it's not even CMS, it's DXP. I would call XM Cloud as hybrid DXP. Then we switch to Content Hub 1. First of all, many people ask me, why on earth would I use Content Hub 1? And I know a pretty decent number of valid use cases. So today we will be going through one of them. And besides, we will define what we're going to do as a part of this exercise with Content Hub 1. So once we're there, we go to XM Cloud. We switch to XM Cloud. I will explain some bits about the structuring and hierarchy there, about the applications. Also, I'll talk about its architecture. And yeah, we will create a website, we will create a page, and we will structure this page with the proper way. Then the most important part comes at the part 4. We will go into new components editor, which was, by the way, recently updated. And it's got lots of useful features. So we will go there and we will create a component. But this component will be a little bit complicated. It will be a grid and it will be powered by the content from external system. So now you probably guessed why there was Content Hub in first place. Yes, the content will be coming from Content Hub 1. Then with all that together, we will publish this component added to a page. Once component is on a page, we will try to validate that, manage it along with the rest of the content, and publish it all together to Experience Edge. And when it comes to the site itself, we will publish the assets to the rendering host, which in our case will be Vercel. And that basically will conclude our exercise. So we go to Vercel, validate everything is there exactly as we want it to be. So hopefully I managed to do all that in the next 35 minutes because I want to leave some time for your meaningful comments and questions. If you have any, please, while watching the series, write down the questions. I'll be happy to ask them. Okay, with that in mind, once again, these are the products we will be dealing during this session. Obviously, the key product here is XM Cloud Components. Also, we will be talking about Content Hub 1, and none pages could be created without Sitecore pages. Well, of course, Experience Editor is there, but you all know about Experience Editor. Let's take a look at the new interface. So components is a tool for fast component prototyping. This is something we are going to do. We will be doing with dynamic data sources. I'll take you through the recent updates in it and what was part of UX redesign. And please be patient and forgiving because it's still in early access. Everything what I will demonstrate you today could be changed in future before the general availability release. Okay, so this is the visual diagram of our today exercise. So we will be dealing with the infrastructure powered by two companies. One is Vercel, with their geographically distributed network of CDN for the publishing content, and obviously Sitecore, which contains two blocks. One is Experience Edge, where all the content gets published, and obviously the Cloud Portal, where we will navigate to Content Hub 1, switch between them and XM Cloud, and with XM Cloud we will be dealing with the components and pages. So all three Sitecore tools are publishing their content into Experience Edge, and this is where it becomes interchangeable, and that's where the rendering host application powered by Next.js is pulling the content from. So it's important to understand that your client websites, they are independent, separate, standalone application that are not directly related to your XM Cloud at all. So all the interaction is happening through Experience Edge. Okay, with that in mind, let's switch to demo. This is the main screen of Sitecore portal. So I have all the products here that are available to me. I have Content Hub 1, CDP with Personalize, I recently got Connect, and two projects of XM Cloud. So before going ahead to Content Hub 1, let me show you what we are going to build as a part of the exercise today. So once upon a time, I give a review for Content Hub 1 product. And in order to do so, of course, I created the content, I defined the content types there, but Content Hub is just a raw, pure CMS. So in order to see your published content, you need to build a head application or client website, in other words. The one I built was done with .NET Headless Core, but obviously I made a lot of my own custom implementation. So this is the website I done customly for that particular exercise. It features my Scotch whiskey collection. I am a collectioner of Scotch whiskey. That's my kind of hobby. Once I lived in the United Kingdom, I made a berry collection of it. So what I'm doing is I am presenting each of that. Here's my cat. My cat is a beautiful model who is being paid for actually advertising any single item in my collection. So that's her job. She's been paid for that. And probably all of my 100 bottles in collection are featured in that manner. For today's exercise, we'll go on with only 10 of them. And we will try to replicate this page with the same structure using page app, components, and new XM Cloud interfaces. But before going ahead, I want to say that all this content within this .NET Core application is taken from Content Hub. So all this content is done with Content Hub. And this is probably one of the greatest and strongest features of Content Hub, that this product is very fast for content modeling and prototyping. It's very lightweight, it's fast, it has modern UI. And let me show you it in action. So now you see the content types. For my exercise, I created a type of collection that is kind of a landing page for them. And the most important field here is this collection of items. This is a collection of elements of this type whiskey. For this type, I create several text fields, short text. I also have a number for the aging. I have a long text for description, which is rich text effectively. And I also have two media fields. The one thing I want to mention here, important to get, is that media field in Content Hub is a collection. So once you deal with the media field, you may add one or more elements to it. Another thing I want to mention, you may see a video field here for this. I want to pay your attention that video is not supported with Content Hub 1 at this stage. So it was only my proof of concept that I can still host blob storage of the video within the media file. So I renamed it to JPEG and uploaded it as soon as it's less than 70 megabytes, limitation for Experience Edge that Content Hub 1 has. It's probably a possible way to do, at least it works for me. I don't recommend you going that way because it's not officially supported and your content may disappear magically in a future stage. So everything that is not supported is not recommended. So the next, I want to show the actual content here. Because I have lots of other content here, I will do a filter. So I will filter by one of the types I've done. It's collection. That's a landing page. You can also call it PDP, PLP, product landing page. So this is like a big description done with rich text. And also it has the collection of items. So these are all items of other type that added into this collection. It's interesting that rich text with Content Hub 1, it has interesting structure. So as you know, everything done with Content Hub 1 is published into Experience Edge. And once it getting published, basically a flat JSON structure is going there. And Experience Edge is effectively just a API point at globally distributed CDN that features your content in a format of JSON files. So that's what it is. So it's interestingly done with Content Hub 1. So instead of coming as a single value here, it comes as a collection of strings along with the metadata for formatting. Like this one comes as one paragraph, then I have another paragraph for the link, I have another one for this one, and it all has its own formatting. Same for bold elements. So once again, to feature it all here, I deployed my own renderer for rich text for Content Hub specifically. But of course, Content Hub comes with its own SDK. You don't have to reinvent the wheel or bicycle. It's all done for you there. Other than that, I'll show you how the typical whiskey item is done. So we have name, vendor, brand, years, description, and the image related to it. As you see, I can add an extra media because it's collection. Let me save it. And I think I'm good to go to XM Cloud. The best way to start is probably XM Cloud deploy app. So all the deployment which you are doing through graphical user interface is done with this application. And the one thing I want to tell you is important to understand that deploy app is a standalone application in the family of XM Cloud under this cloud portal. Same applies to Pages application, same applies to component application, which will be featuring today. They are all standalone application. They are separate from your content management instance, which is, again, works as a separate container and Kubernetes under the hood. That is how done internally. But for this exercise is not important information. I want to familiarize you with the structure of Content Hub. Oh, sorry, what of XM Cloud. So XM Cloud comes as a subscription-based offering. And at the very top, you have organization. So organization is equal to a term subscription in old world. In my way, my company where I'm employed at is my organization, and it comes with a number of projects and environments. So project is just a logical group for environment. You can see I have 2 projects here with 1 environment per each project, but I have up to 3 environments per project I can allocate. And the environment is equivalent of Sitecore instance in the old good world. So today we will be working with this project called Links. And I have 1 environment called Prod. It's production environment. I can also have 2 non-production environments. Drilling into the environment, I can create a site. So under each environment, you can create unlimited amount of websites. So once again, from top to bottom, you have organization, which can have numerous amount of projects, which in turn can have a numerous amount of environments or instances, and you can create unlimited amount of sites per each of these instances. So this is how XM Cloud offering is structured. So I drill 2 sites. And at the moment, I do not have any single site here. Let me open CM instance. This is old good desktop you are familiar with. And here you might see that it is XM Cloud, and the version is latest here. By the time on the content, I have no websites, nothing. And that's what we're going to do now. So we will go to sites, and we will create the first website for this demo. Going to this interface, we are presented by a choice of 2. We have empty site as an option, and we have a site template. It's called basic site. This is featuring a skate park scaffolded website. Later, you will be able to create your own site templates. This is coming as a part of Headless SXA that is included in your XM Cloud. But for today, we will be working with, starting with the empty site. So I'm giving it a name. I'll call it Scotch. English, probably that's it. It will take 2 minutes for the site to get scaffolded. And while the site is scaffolding, any questions so far? Anyone?
Yeah, everybody who wants to ask a question, you are welcome to write it in the chat. While everything is loading, you can just raise your voice and ask your question.
Awesome. Thank you, Daria. So what is happening under the bonnet here is the PowerShell script included with SXA Headless. They are running and building all the necessary templates, media structure, folder structure, media items, like absolutely everything that is required for this website. It creates site collection for this website. It creates a site. So once you get back to Experience Editor and refresh, you will see that I have a site collection here. And I have a site itself, and I have a homepage here along with it. And like lots of meaningful things being provided here, and not just under the content. There's definitely site created under media. And also there are templates here. By the way, it's SXA and it follows Helix principles. So that's why I know where to search for the things exactly under the project here. By the way, if you want to delete a website, you don't need to come here and delete an item. This is incorrect way for doing things. Instead, you need to go to script, because every SXA is powered with PowerShell extension, and it has lots of meaningful scripts. And you remove a site by using the automation. The same way is also coming with the collection of the website. So you go into script, remove collection. And I want to pay your attention to this because there will be likely a question about that in the certification exam for Exam Cloud, which is not released yet, but might get released in a couple of months. All right, coming back to the website. So now I have the website. Obviously, the first thing I can do is I can open it in Pages. Once again, Pages is the new editing interface coming with Exam Cloud. Those of you who are familiar with Horizon, you may find lots of similarities because Pages is built on the foundation of Horizon. Of course, there's lots of improvements above the Horizon. It has very pleasant, responsive, and in some way revolutionary interface. All the things in one you have at the same interface. You don't have save button, for example. Everything is saved automatically. You have undo button. Like, I'll show it in action. So once you see the homepage, probably the first thing you intuitively have in mind is go and start adding your components here. You want to go do header, you want to do footer and the main component. But once again, this is powered by SXA, and that's not the best way what you want to do. Because the way you structure the page with SXA is you will be using page and partial designs. And things like header and footer, they should get relied to the partial designs, which combined into page design, which in turn is attached to the template of this page, of this item, which is a page. So that every new page I create here with create a page interface or in experience editor, all that page immediately inherits these partial templates. More to say, these partial templates are not editable, so that you can only edit the main field. Okay, to do so, I go into templates here, and I go to partial design. I create the first partial design. I call it header. I'll be using a column splitter because I want to take the left part for the logo. In my case, it will be just rich text. And here it will be navigation bar. So let's split them more equally. They're split equally, but let's split them more reasonably. So now they're split 6 by 6, and the whole layout is using the grid concept with 12 column taking the overall size. So I have 6 and 6. And coming here, it prompts me that I am now using the desktop small breakpoint. So these guys are called breakpoint, and they represent the monitor sizes as your visitors will be using. So the way it's done is mobile is the smallest breakpoint you have, and this is kind of default one. So you are doing mobile first. The way I would want to do in mobile would be probably to have to take this component full length of 12 columns. Same for this one, get it under that. But for the sake of this exercise and time, I will be focusing on this desktop for today. So in order to change it, I need to override the inheritance because all the settings are coming from here, from the mobile. So what I do, by the way, you have the option of 6 pre-built breakpoints. You can include or exclude those you want to use or don't want to use. At the time, I'm only having 3 of them, but you create your own breakpoints at the settings and enable them from here. So Let's go to override inheritance. I want this component to have one column. Oh, of course, sorry, it's a bad selection. Let me do it from scratch. I do a column splitter here. Go to layout. I keep column splitter as is, but I select a left block and I override inheritance, make it one column size. I need to override the right one, give it the remaining 11, and I think that's okay. So here I want to add a logo. In my case, it will be just a rich text. And I call it whiskey. That's it. Here I would want to add navigation. Let it be navigation. Right. I think that's it. Let's publish this and go to footer. So in the same manner to the footer, what I'll do, I'll put a container first. Why I'm doing that? Because I don't want the element to be positioned immediately left. So I want to some way central this. Once again, I override the inheritance. So probably give a spacing of one column each side. So I measure it as 10, leaving 2 columns here. Let's position it centrally so that I have 1 column, 10 column, and 1 more column. And I think that's it. Let's put rich text here as well. Simply copy a footer from here. Let's publish it. So now I can go to page design and create a first page design. It will be whiskey page design. I will combine it from footer and header. And again, I'm happy with that. So let me publish it. For those who are familiar with the content editor interface, that would be under the site presentation. There you have your partial designs we just done, and you also have your page design, combining these two. And the one thing I haven't done is to map the actual page template to my whiskey page design. So let me do that. And here we go. So coming back to the pages application, the home page is pre-selected, and it immediately picks up the top and bottom. By the way, I have a typo here, and you see I'm not able to edit that because it's intentionally done that I can only do that with page design. I will probably quickly fix it. So go to header. I'll do it this time in Experience Editor. Notice how fast all that is working. XMCloud brought lots of improvement into the performance, and I'm very amazed how it all works. So I update the page. Okay, so far so good. Now I need to start placing meaningful components here. So once again, I first put the container. And I'll do exactly the same as I've done with the footer. I go to layout, I override inheritance, I give it the full size of 10, and I centralize this container. So once done, I will add a page title. Top of it. So page title is the out-of-the-box component that takes the name from the page. Then I also I will add rich text to it. Yes, into container at the bottom of it, please. Make things simple, I will copy rich text from this page and I paste it into rich text here. All the styles, everything got picked up. Effectively, bold is here. Lots of things got preserved.